Hey everybody, my name's Jason. I'm 53 years old. I have metastatic prostate cancer that's moved into my L1 vertebrae. moved into, metastasized to. Um, that was and that was all on my initial diagnosis. So on this channel we talk about it. I'm a little not as not as put together as I thought today. Um, It is Friday morning. It is June 7th, 2024, and I was supposed to have surgery this week. I was supposed to have 3 procedures on Wednesday, 2 days ago, to deal with my back, deal with my spine, deal with that L1. They were going to go in and do a radio frequency ablation, and then they were going to do a deep bone biopsy, and then they were going to do a kyphoplasty. So for those, the first two, ablation, radio frequency ablation, deadens or kills nerves. So it helps with pain management. The bone biopsy, we all know what a biopsy is at this point. They do a core sample of my L1. The kyphoplasty you may not know about. So as you're on this treatment and your bone density changes, because your bone density will get worse if you're not, well, even if you are trying to mitigate it, you're just mitigating it and minimizing how bad it's going to get worse and how fast it's going to get worse. But I did a video where I talked about how the treatment we're on affects our bone density and ways you can mitigate that. Anyway, so what eventually, especially if you're heavy like me, if you're a big guy, I'm 6'4", 340 pounds, and under my own weight, my weakened L1, what my doctor told me way back a year ago, that under my own weight, that L1 will eventually compression fracture, and they'll have to do a procedure where they put plaster in that vertebrae. And he said I can't tell you when that's going to be. We talked about maybe 3 or 4 or 5, 6 years out. But my stupid butt moved a bookcase, tried to move a bookcase. I never was able to move it. I tried to pick up a bookcase and seized my back, caused my L1 to L, or no, my L4 to L5 to slip, herniated my L4, L3, L2, and L2, L1, herniated those, and then a compression fracture in my L1 where the tumor was. And so my back's been jacked up since April 7th, and which is why I'm just resting this morning, laying here in my recliner, my motorized recliner. It lifts me up so I don't have to sit down hard. I am feeling a lot better. The pain I was dealing with the first few weeks in April really sucked. May sucked. But I'm getting better. My back feels better. I'm able to do more. I'm really careful when I walk. I'm really careful about still not lifting anything. But anyway, we were going to do off track. We were going to do those 3 procedures. So I get to the doctor. This is going to be a little bit of a story. I get to the doctor. I show up a half hour early because, it's what you're supposed to do. Get checked in and sitting in the waiting room. And they were a half hour late calling me in, so I've been there for an hour. And get in there and you answer all the questions, and the nurse comes and goes, and then get undressed, put this gown on, okay, say, get on the table, get adjusted. Are you comfortable? Does this hurt your back? Get the right angle. All right, we're going to put an IV in you. We're going to do a blood draw, okay. And then, it's 10, 15 minutes before they come back and do all this. And then time's just going on. But it's pretty normal. It's slow. The first procedure, the radiofrequency ablation, wasn't scheduled until an hour after my check-in. Hour and a half after my check-in. So I'm expecting all this time. So now another hour's gone by. They've got the IV in me. I've answered all the questions, and the procedure should be in a half hour or less than a half hour, because they were a half hour calling me late. So I'm at the procedure time. That's right. And then I'm sitting there for an hour and a half. Yeah, you heard that right. An hour and a half. Hour and a half I'm sitting there. And every once in a while a nurse would come in, check on me. Are you doing okay? It's like, well, I'd love some coffee, but I can't drink anything. And eventually the doctor comes in, acting a little strangely. He's just standing there, drops a pen out of his hand for no reason. Says, hey, we got bad news for you. We can't do the procedure today. So what do you mean? Which procedure? He goes, well, we're going to do them all at once. And so we can't do any of them. We have to reschedule. Well, that doesn't make any sense. Why can't we do them today? I'm ready. And he said, well, we don't have the equipment. Really? Really? Like, this has been scheduled for a couple weeks? I'm going to get mad again. He says, yeah, we don't have the equipment. We'll have to reschedule. Okay. It doesn't make any sense. And he said, so earlier on, one of the nurses said, do you have any questions for us, for the doctor? I was like, yeah. Why are we doing a bone biopsy? So he says, and the nurse said you'd asked about the bone biopsy? Yeah. So just so you all know, I think you knew if you follow on the channel, I did a bone biopsy back in July when I got so I did the PSA, biopsy, MRI, and then the PET scan, the bone density scan, then the PET scan, and that L1 lit up. I mean, it was just saturated, and it was bad. It was that was not a good picture. And I was talking to my doctor, and he's like, we can assume that that's a metastatic site. And I'm like, well, that would be bad, right? If we assume that, can we do a biopsy? He says, oh, I'll put it in. We'll see if they approve it. So he put in to do a deep core bone biopsy of my L1 back in July. They approved it, and they did the biopsy and verified that it was a metastatic tumor of my prostate cancer. Because for whatever reason, prostate cancer likes to go to the bones. And so I already know that it's a metastatic tumor. So anyway, you need that background information for this weird conversation with my doctor. He's like, yeah, the reason we're doing the biopsy is to see if this fracture is related to your prostate cancer. I said, well, it is. He said, no, we need to verify. We need to see if the tumor is a metastatic lesion of a metastatic tumor of your prostate cancer. I said, well, we already know it is. And he's like, well, we need to verify that with a biopsy. We're going to go in and take a sample and do a biopsy. I said, well, why can't we use the one we already did? He goes, because we have to do a biopsy of your L1. Why can't we use the biopsy we already did of my L1? And it was like he didn't even hear me. He's like, well, we need to verify he thought he was talking to somebody that was stupid and didn't understand. And I felt like I was talking to somebody that was stupid and didn't understand because he wasn't hearing me. He said, well, we can't, if we find out that it's a different type of cancer, that can change the treatment plan. It's like, okay, we already know it's not. We already know it's, do you think that there's another type of cancer that's formed there? He goes, well, this is a recurrence. Like, what do you mean this is a recurrence? He goes, well, your scan shows that that a cancer has come back in your spine. I said, no. The scan showed that the tumor is 1/10 of its original size. He goes, yeah, but we need to see if it's prostate cancer that's grown back. I said, I did a biopsy of my spine, of my L1, back in July. and it's now getting smaller. He goes, well, it's a recurrence, so we need to see how it's, you know, what's growing back. I was like, holy crap, I'm never getting out of this conversation. I was really frustrated with this doctor. I'm more frustrated now than I was in the moment. In the moment he was like, "You're taking this pretty good." I was like, "You." I just left the conversation. I was like, "Okay, okay," and I should have pressed. I should have just been more specific. So anyway, fast forward. The plan is next week on Wednesday, I'm going to go in for. They still got me scheduled for 3 procedures, but I wrote up a big long paragraph in my saying, "Hey, they gave me a new doctor, so I've got a new doctor instead of Dr. Holt. I've got a Dr. Thayer," and I sent a message to my care team saying, "Hey, we did a bone biopsy of my L1 in July. Blah 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 blah. Here's a screenshot of the previous doctor's notes. I don't understand why we're doing another bone biopsy. I'd rather not have another hole drilled in my spine if I can avoid it. And unless there's something I don't understand about why this is needed in conjunction with the radiofrequency ablation and the kyphoplasty. If it's just part of that, then somebody just needs to explain that to me." And I haven't heard back from them, but you know, I just put that yesterday morning, sent that to them, and it takes them a few days to get back. So I guarantee you I will be having a very, very specific conversation with the doctor on Wednesday before I let him drill a hole in my back. And then I'm in this whole spot like I need to get with the doctor to see, do I even need the kyphoplasty at this point? The pain I feel in my back is lower than my L1. It's the slip disc is the biggest part of the pain. And then the 3 herniated, even the 3 herniated discs are feeling better. Like, I can bend over better. I have to be careful, but yeah, if I stand too long or I sit upright too long, that lowest part of my spine really starts to burn. But overall, things are getting better, and I don't feel any pain in that because I know right where my L1 is now. I don't feel any pain in my L1 anymore, where that compression fracture is. So am I pushing to do something I don't need to do? I don't know. Like, can I just not do the kyphoplasty? I need to get with the doctor and find out. But you know, it's tough because they get money when they do procedures. So it's not in their financial interest to turn down the opportunity to do a procedure. So how do I get a real answer? God, this stuff sucks. This stuff sucks. Did I say this sucks? Stuff stucks? Stuff stucks? No, stuff sucks. This stuff sucks. All right, so that's my little rant. I'll call this ranting like a madman. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I guess that's the only point of this was that's the update on my procedures, and that's all I got. I got no good news. I got no new news. I've just got confused news. It seems to be the. I'm watching a couple other videos right now. A guy named Woody with My Fight with Prostate Cancer. I just rewatched Adams from the All Forked Up from Anything is Possible. So I'm watching a couple other videos, and that seems to be the message. Like, my situation right now is very similar to a lot of other guys where they're getting confusing information. Woody got a scan, an extra CT scan that he probably didn't need. Um, the Adam had flew up and got to talk to a doctor that wasn't ready to talk to him yet, that needed more time to go over the scans. It's like, man, what is going on? All right, that's enough of my ranting. Yeah. My cat was in the window, but he's gone. I was going to show you my cat, but he disappeared when I turned on the camera. All right. Love you all.